What's up, you guys? Happy Monday. Today's President's Day, but is it really a day off? I don't think so. We're still here being consistent. I'm actually doing pretty good. I'm at 20 plus videos now. I already know this shit is just gonna compound over time. So here I am staying with it, sticking to the script. Not coming up with a master plan, but mastering of the plan. So I'm here. Today I wanted to talk about a really important topic, especially for young adults, kids in my generation. If you're below the age of 25, I'm speaking directly to you. And if you're a little bit older, then please absorb some of this information or some of this experience. But today I wanted to ask you the question, are you lost? Are you lost? Where does that question come from? You see, growing up in the projects, growing up with a dysfunctional family, growing up aspiring to be all these ideals, having these ideals in my mind of what success is, they kind of detracted me from my life's true purpose, which is what I've come to realize is being able to master yourself to a certain extent in order to be able to provide service to others and help heal other people's pains. And everyone has value to give. No single person doesn't have any value to give because we've all had different life experiences and we've all walked a different path in life. We've gained experiences, we've gained trauma, we've gained knowledge, we've gained friendships, enemies. All of these things we've accumulated over the years. We learn things about ourselves, and that gives us the credibility to be able to help the next person, help the next individual who is going through a similar circumstance that you once felt or that we're in. I asked that question, are you lost? Because that has been me all my life. Up until recently, I would say the last 2-3 years. Obviously, when I was 18 years old, that's kind of when I started going down this path a little bit more intentionally. But when I was 18 years old, I went out of state to a private university up in Wisconsin. Funny enough, it's just crazy. I was a Cali kid coming from San Francisco, going out of state to Wisconsin because at the time I was pursuing medicine, and it was a pretty great school for pushing kids into med school. But when I was out there, I did not socialize like that. I was not going out to parties. I was not drinking. I was not smoking weed, doing drugs. Most of my time while I was out there, I spent in my dorm room contemplating my life. Because up until that point, I felt like I had no sense of direction, no sense of life's purpose or a true calling. And yeah, some people can argue, oh, you're just 18, you know? Nobody expects you to have it all figured out at that young age. And to some extent, that's true. But that's the thing. That's the fucking thing. I'm not like you, okay? I don't want to be like you. My expectations for myself is up here, meaning that I hold myself to a higher regard. Therefore, I did a lot of introspection, trying to figure things out. What was my true life's purpose? What was I here to do? Now I've come to realize that an aspect of my true life's purpose is being able to be the first in my family to break the cycle of poverty, break the cycle of substance abuse, of traumatic events, traumatic family events, a lack of ignorance, a lack of action, a lack of accountability. And no, I didn't have it all figured out at 18, but that was when the journey first started for me, which led me down into eventually discovering how important fitness is, and which actually is what pushed me to start this YouTube channel. But it's taken time to really ask myself the hard questions. Are you lost? And I said yes. And now being 23 years old, looking back on myself when I was 18, bro, those years, I needed those building block years. I needed to go through the breakups. I needed to go through the traumatic experiences. I needed to know what it's like to truly lose, because I've lost a lot in my life. I like to put a smile on my face, and I like to go out in the world with a certain level of confidence, but life can make or break you. And some of you guys act like you know what real trauma is, or you act like you know what true heartbreak is, or you act like you know what true loss is, but the real ones know. That shit will eat at your soul if you don't stay 10 toes down. And me have gotten to a point where I have way more clarity. I have an understanding of who I am. I'm comfortable in my skin in order to be able to get behind this camera right now and talk to you. Become someone who's consistent, someone who's worthy of your trust, someone who's worth listening to. Because to tell you the truth, half of my peers, half of the guys in my age, half of the women in my generation, they're not exactly the best examples for the next generation, for their kids or future kids. They're failing to fire on all cylinders. And that brings me back to you. Ask yourself, what is it that you really want out of this life? What is it? Doesn't matter how big. What I've come to realize is a lot of people end up failing on their journey to success because they just don't dream big enough. If you shoot for the stars, you'll eventually land on the moon. That's how it works. You can't forget the actions though. The actions and the intentions. You can't just say some shit and believe that shit to just take care of itself. No, you have to work on it day in, day out. What is it they say about someone who abuses drugs or alcohol? The first step is admitting that they are addicted and that they need help. But instead of seeking the help from other people like a therapist, like someone who doesn't even fucking share the same vision as you, from friends who go out on the weekends to party and drink and chase women, look yourself deep in the mirror, in your eyes, and understand that you have all the power to change your life, change your story, change the trajectory of your future. I'm not sitting up here to make it seem like I have it all figured out, because I'm learning as I go. That's the beauty of life. As you continuously make steps forward, the path illuminates itself. You just have to get started and adapt, pivot. My circle was small because truth is, I like it this way. I don't socialize with people who don't share the same worldview or same perspective as me. I want friends that I can rely on, brothers, and I want to be able to take care of my family. I want to have a huge family when I get older, and I want to make a shit ton of money. And I want to be able to help others along the way, because that's where the real fulfillment comes from. I've always been an individual who aspires to help people first, give before I receive. But what about you? What is something that lights a fire under your ass? Despite what society is saying, despite what your father or parents are saying, despite what your friends, your teachers, your coworkers, your boss, every single one of those individuals that I named, if they're not aligned with your perspective, I guarantee their best interest is according to what best serves them, not what best serves your dream, your vision. And that's not to throw shade on your parents or your friends. No, you need them around, but sometimes you have to realize that in order to become or do something that's never been done, that requires another set of information, data sets. That requires you to unlearn things that you've been taught. So ask yourself that question this week. Let's keep it going. I'm staying consistent. I'm showing up for you guys. I'm showing up for myself. I urge you guys to do the same. Let's keep pushing. See you guys soon. Talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.